But the meeting started with condemnation of the governor. This is an insult to democracy. This is a disgrace to democracy. And these are exact words of the Supreme Court judges. So there's a link and something is fundamentally wrong. That those 27 lawmakers that he also said have defected and cannot cross the red, come back to say that they are no longer defecting. And Mr. President is clapping his hand for them. Those the commissioners that abandoned him, SIM, reappoints them and swear them in. Mr. President says SIM never respected the decision. Salaries were paid to the House of Assembly members at that time. SIM has not responded. SIM went and withdrew all the cases. Whereas behind it, I'm sure Mr. President encouraged the pro-Wike assembly members not to withdraw their cases. That is the case with which they are punishing Rivers State now. So who is fooling who? Who is fooling who? But let me say this. The governor has spoken, and to say that he will respect and comply with all the decisions of the Supreme Court, and he has started. That is saving Rivers State, that is saving Nigeria, because of this peaceful disposition. But for Wike to transcend from that political conflict and find himself now swimming in a very deep ocean of ethnic condemnation and ethnic threat is very unfortunate on this part. Let me say this, a lot of Nigerians do not know. What you say is that it's Jonathan and his wife, Ijaws, that made him president. It's Ijaws that made him local government chairman. When he was first elected to be the candidate of the PDP, PDP National wrote to Rivers State that he is not their candidate. It's Ijaws' son, Dr. Sam Jaja, I'm quoting him, that insisted that he will not take directive from the PDP National Headquarters, that the only people that can direct him is the state PDP. And that is how Wike contested and won local government chairman in his first tenure. It's an Ijaws' son. So sometimes when people talk, I even laugh. He said he has helped the people. No, he was only trying to repay them for what they have done. They laid the foundation for him to be what he is. So he was only trying to repay them. And that is his status. And that is one status that Mr. President and him also share. They don't forgive. They have the spirit of revengeance. We can never forget that experience. Then the last experience has to do with the issue of the presidential ambition he had, and he failed. So his vow is a revenge on PDP, and PDP will never know peace for that. And that is one attribute of the president. So we must know this. But above all, I must say, and that will interest Nigerians, is the fact that Mr. President plays the politics of divide and rule. When he was governor of Lagos State, all the local government has two leaders at a particular time. So that way he controlled the royalty of the two. He will appear to be working with him. He will appear to be working with. That is it. The current problem in Lagos State of Assembly exactly is his handwork. I know we know this in politics. It's divide and rule. It's time for him to divide loyalty of APC in Lagos so that at the end of the day, he's in control. Because he was aware that the governor of Lagos State, one way or the other, contributed to the fundraising of Atiku. So from that day, he declared him an enemy. We know this. We in PDP, we know this. And so it's time for him to say that this man cannot be 100% trusted and be loyal. So he's doing it. So what I'm saying in essence is that Mr. President has created a problem in Rivers State with his political tactics of divide and rule. Wike has in his own turn now dive himself to ethnic threat, ethnic harassment that can swallow him any day, anytime. And I said that because without a job, he will be nothing. And he cannot bite the finger that fed him. One sin that God never forget is that of ingratitude. Wike is an ungrateful person. He uses people and he dumps them. Sam Jaja made him the local government chairman. That is the springboard with which he is whatever today. Jonathan helped him to become governor. governor. That is a springboard with which he is now working as a minister. Jonathan appointed him a minister for the first time as an Ijaw man. That popularized him and gave him the spread in Nigeria. So for him to now say that these people are minorities of minority, they are useless, they cannot win election, I believe that he has 48 hours to rescind that. Else some of us will be forced, not minding the barriers and not minding the fact that some of us also have the DNA of being liquidated. We'll be able to let him know. But Nigerians should know that the character, the personality that Wike has so far exhibited does not represent an average Rivers man. It doesn't even represent the people with the lowest quality of life. Nobody knows where he has brought it, and nobody should judge Rivers' sons and daughters because by virtue of the kind of character. Let me tell you this. I see a lot of us forget. Remember my last briefing. I said Wike is a man who cannot survive where there is peace. He knows that the moment the House of Assembly members and the governor reconciles, that is the end of his domination. So he will do everything to scuffle it at every time and at all points. Remember I said that. It actually doesn't matter who is approaching first at this point in time, if each of them has the interest of Rivers State at heart. But the governor, being the leader, has always negotiated and initiated it. He wrote to them for a meeting, they declined. In fact, there was a function in Government House that day, he stepped it down to receive them. They did not, but that did not discourage him. He decided to go to the House of Assembly to present the budget. It is one man. It's Wike. Because once they reconcile, that dominance will end. Let me tell you, once a man does not have shame, he can go any length. Anybody that has shame will hide his face when they confront you with a lot of things you said you will never do and you are doing. A lot of things you commended, now you say it's bad. He was talking about Enebele as one of the best. Who is the best? Now he says Enebele is bad. He has already extended by saying that go and ask. Diri came to beg me. One day he will tell you that Tinubu begged him. In fact, he started by saying that go and ask. He didn't even give you one kobo. Of course, he's even wealthier than him, perhaps. So you are seeing somebody who lacks the quality, the character of shame, the quality of shame. That he will say one thing and the next day they will confront you and say, this is what they said yesterday, today you are saying this thing. He doesn't murder. See how restless he is during the interview. Why is he furious? For those of them who this elementary psychology will tell you the situation, I'm not going to say it. Somebody who is very restless, even when discussing with pressmen, there's something fundamentally missing and wrong that Nigerians will soon find out. But I must say it, that nobody should judge any Rivers man based on his character and the character he has exhibited to the country. That is not us. That is not Rivers people. His approach is always wrong. At least he's making an attempt. What have you done? Is it the 48 hours ultimatum for everything? Is it calling the EFCC to begin to probe people? When we are forgetting that he who lives in glass house should not throw stone. Don't they have enough things to investigate? So this is the point I'm making. If my approach is wrong, come up with a recommendation or an approach that is going to look and sound decent and acceptable. You have not done. I mentioned 3 exhaustions that have been. 1 elected, 2 appointed. We may not have been now because we elected not to be. I've been a foundation member. As at the time Odile became governor, the Ijaws has every opportunity to manipulate it. We decided to say no. For there to be peace and harmony, let our upland brothers be. That's how Peter Odile became governor. And several fora he said, anybody who sees a Calabari man, when we are done in his Thanksgiving, must say thank you to a Calabari man. He said it. So it's we that let it. The spirit will let it go. It's not the same spirit with which we are being treated and received now. But that's not a problem. Fortunately, there's an Ijaw son now. So we have had, I've just counted. We have just counted. 2 elected, 2 military. All right? And this Inam revolves along senatorial. At the end of the day, another Ijaw son will be. We are being sympathetic. Politics is not a game of isolation. Politics involve bridge building. Politics involve collaboration. Politics involve brotherhood. Politics involve love binding. What the Ijaws have been doing with the rest of the brother is love binding. And what they have done with us is love binding and bridge building. Not because they can do without us. And not because we can do without them. So he lacks history. He lacks political, historic knowledge. Yes, everybody will be concerned. But like I said, he who lives in glass house, let them not throw stones. Wike has page forgery case. Criminal cases are not easily buried though. That's my answer for now. That's